Yeah, hello friends. So in the earlier class we have discussed what is the structure of the constitution and what are the special features of the constitution. So we discussed some points of the special features of the constitution, and now we will discuss the remaining parts. So what we have discussed, let us recollect what we have discussed. So we said that Indian constitution is the lengthiest written constitution in the world. Also we have discussed what are the factors contributed to the size, and also we said that the Indian constitution drawn almost from constitutions of 60 countries, and under the constitution the people of India are the ultimate sovereign. And also we have opted for British parliamentary form of the government rather than American presidential system of government. And so these are the points we discussed. Now we'll discuss the remaining points. The next one is like our constitution is neither rigid nor flexible. So what is the meaning of this rigid constitution and what is the meaning of the flexible constitution? So this rigid and flexible related to the amendment of the constitution, friends. So we have said that constitution has the part is one part part 20, that amendment procedures was enclosed. Like we can amend the constitution whenever it required, because by the changing times that requirements of the people may change. So that is the reason that amendment procedures were included. So we said that the constitution is a living document. So what is the meaning? Yeah, once we come to this rigid and flexible. Rigid means the constitution requires a clear majority to amend any part of the constitution. So it means once you understand the flexible thing, you can understand the rigid. Flexible thing means, friends, we need to have like a simple majority, that we need to have the majority from the people who present in the parliament. That is the meaning of flexible. So rigid is strong, like we need to have a clear majority, and also we need to have the amendment should be appended by the states. Like constitution requires a clear majority for some of the amendments, and our constitution requires a simple majority for some of the amendments. So sometimes our constitution is very rigid and sometimes our constitution is flexible. So we say that it's neither rigid nor flexible. And the Indian constitution is said to be federal in form, but the next point is that the Indian constitution is said to be federal in form but unitary in spirit. And sometimes we say that it's quasi-federal by K.C. Ware. It's quasi-federal, it's said by K.C. Ware. So what does it mean by, first try to know the meaning of the federation. What is the meaning of the federation? Federation means very simple, friends. There will be a center, there will be the state. Yes, we have center and the state, but it will have equal powers. Like center and state will be having equal powers, and there will be a written constitution. Yes, we have a written constitution, and there will be mutual cooperation between the center and the state for the governance. Yes, we have the same thing, but there will be dual citizenship, but we have only single citizenship. And there will be center and state with the equal powers, but we have a strong center. So federation, what are the features federation required? We have, but at the same time we have some non-federation features also, that strong center, a single citizenship. So there is a difference between the, like seems like a federal in the form, but it is not really federal. So we have some other features like a strong center. This strong center, we say that because of the center, all the and we have opted for union of states. Unlike United States of India, we have opted for union of states, means like no state can go out of the country whenever they wish. So that is the meaning. Like, so we'll stay united though in the federal form. That is the reason we say that federal in form but unitary in spirit. And as it is not clearly federal, as it is having some non-federal features also, we say that it's a quasi-federal. And one more important thing we need to note here is, friend, that the term federation was not mentioned anywhere in the Indian constitution. You read out the entire constitution, you never find a word called federation. There are some other words which were not described in Indian constitution. By a period of time, like while discussing the topics, you will be getting the points. So there may be a question that whether this term was described or not. So we need to see, like so please follow all the videos so that you will be getting everything. Yeah. So what is the next point? The constitution has guaranteed as the fundamental rights to this fundamental rights. So it has guaranteed fundamental rights, and what does this fundamental rights implies? Means it implies the power to the citizens of India. So these citizens, whenever we feel that the fundamental rights were not enforced, like we are deprived of fundamental rights, we can move to the courts against the legislature. These fundamental rights acts against the legislature, and they limit the arbitrary powers of the and laws of the executive. If the law made by the legislature is encroaching on the freedom of speech or freedom of religion, everything, then you can go to, an example, like if it encroaching your rights, then you can move to the courts. So that is what. And it also enumerated directive principles of state policy. So DPSP, we say that the directive principles. So what does this directive principles of state policy? Its name is clearly saying that state policy should follow some principles. Those are called directive principles. Whenever you are making the laws, whenever the state is making the laws, it should keep in mind that there are directive principles of state policy, and these directive principles of state policy must be followed by the state. That is what the meaning. And the constitution established an independent judiciary. That in our constitution, that constitution clearly said that judiciary will be independent and it is not dependent on the legislature. It will function like any minister or any kind of person cannot influence the judiciary. So that is what given by the constitution. And persons cannot influence the courts. That is what said by the constitution. And also we adopted the concept of judicial review. What does it mean? What is the meaning of the judicial review? Judicial review means whatever the laws enacted made by the legislative can be reviewed by the Supreme Court. That is what the meaning of the judicial review. This is one of the important feature of our constitution, friends. This is very good. It restricts the arbitrary powers of the legislation. Like legislation can't make a law, whatever the thing, that we can move to the courts against the law, so that they'll review and they'll say that this is not going to be work out. The best example you can see that section 66A of IT Act, so Information Technology Act. So we have seen that recently that was suspended by the Supreme Court. That is what judicial review is. So it also has the provision for proclamation of an emergency, and during the period of emergency the state becomes unitary. So it also given the provisions for the proclamation of emergency. So we'll discuss what are the kinds of emergencies available, where the emergency was imposed, and what happens when the emergency was imposed. So to be precise here, that during the period of emergency, that state becomes unitary means all the governments in the states will be suspended, and all the powers will be taken by the state. All the powers will be taken by the center. So that means this country will become one, the state becomes unitary. The constitution has the provisions of the establishment for a secular state. So our constitution has decided to go for a secular state. What does it mean by a secular state? So people say that secular means all the religions are equal. So it's okay, religions are equal, it's okay, but it's not the clear meaning of secular state. Secular state means state doesn't show any interest towards religion, and state doesn't represent any kind of religion. So that is the meaning of the secular state. And if every religion will be given equal status, and every religion will be given equal importance, and when it comes to the matter of importance, everything will be treated equally. So there will be no discrimination against the states. That is what the meaning religions. That is what the meaning of secular thing. So don't confuse yourself. But there is a sentence from Sarva Dharma Sambhava, all. It is not such a way that Sarva Dharma Sambhava is not the thing for the meaning of secular. Yes. So these are the features of the Indian Constitution. So we need to understand the features of the Indian Constitution. This is to be precise. It's the lengthiest, and it has given us the fundamental rights. It has given us the directive principles of state policy. We have decided to go for parliamentary form. We have decided to go for a secular state, and we have it's borrowed from many constitutions, and people are the sovereign. These are the aspirations. These are the special features given by the Indian Constitution to us. So how and where these special features were enclosed? So we need to discuss one by one. So we said that our constitution has a preamble, and it is having 22 parts and 395 articles, and 12 schedules. So we'll discuss one by one. So better start with the preamble of the constitution. So preamble of the constitution is very simple, friends. It's like a preface. You read any book, that will be having a preface, the first word of the book. So in what will be described in the first word, it will be said that What is there in the book will be given in the first word, in the preface. In same way, preamble gives what is there in the constitution, what we are going to see in the constitution, what is the type of country we are going to construct, what are the aspirations of the people, what are the demands of the people, what are the rights provided to the people of the India will be provided in this preamble. So India followed American constitution to begin with the constitution, with the preamble. So American constitution start with the preamble. The same type of the same style was adopted by India. The preamble was based on this objective resolution. We have seen that objective resolution is important as per the preamble is considered. So objective resolution was moved by whom, friends? It's Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on 13th December 1946. Okay. So what is there in the preamble? Try to go through the preamble. So this is very important. The order of the preamble is also very important. So we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So see friends, we are going to constitute, it's clearly saying the people of India, we ourselves are saying what we are going to do. We are going to construct a country which is a sovereign, like what is a socialist and secular and democratic and republic. These are the this kind of country we are going to constitute. And to secure to all its citizens, and to secure, so we are going to secure some of the rights to all its citizens. What are the rights? Justice. In which form justice? Social, economical and political. And liberty of thought. Liberty, what kind of liberty? Liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of belief, liberty of faith and liberty of worship. And equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all. So we are going to achieve equality of status and equality of opportunity. Equality of status in the society, equality of opportunity in the jobs and each and every sector, and political sector, social sector. And we are going to promote that equality among all the people of India. And we are going to achieve fraternity. Fraternity means like it's a brotherhood, common brotherhood we say. And we are going to assure the dignity of the individual. Every individual will be treated with the dignity, and we are going to integrate the nation, like unity and integrate the nation. So this was when this was adopted in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give ourselves this constitution. So see friends, who are going to who have adopted this constitution? We, the people of India. So that is the reason we say that the people are ultimate sovereign. And when this was done on 26th November 1914. So what is the order? So say day. So say day. So means sovereign, socialist, and so means sovereign, so means socialist, SC means secular, day means democratic. So say day. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic. This order is very important. Even this order was asked in a question in civil services exam. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. And justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. See these underlined words: socialist, secular, integrity. These were not there in the preamble when it was adopted on 26th day of November 1949. But these were added to the Constitution by 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. So there may be a question in the exam that what are the words added by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. So we should be able to say that socialist, secular, integrity. Don't say that it is secular, socialist, integrity. We should be very clear with the order. It is socialist, secular and integrity. And there could be the same, there is the possibility of the same question to be asked in many ways. So the socialist, secular and integrity of the integrity, these words are added to the Constitution in which Amendment Act? It is 42nd Amendment Act. Several times this question was asked in the exam, and this is very important. Try to remember this order: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and the date is very important. Yeah friends, so you may get out what is the meaning of sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So we'll discuss each and every word here now, the important points of the preamble. The preamble, what is the special features of the preamble? It is a precious part of the Constitution, and it's also treated as the soul of the Constitution. We say that the preamble is the soul of the Constitution, and it's key to the minds of the Constitution makers. When Constitution makers have constructed our Constitution, they wrote our Constitution. So what they thought, what are their aspirations, what are their objectives, everything is given here. When they wrote that book, It clearly says that what the kind of thought they had at that particular time. So it's key to the minds of the constituent makers. And the preamble embodies the basic, it has the basic philosophy and the fundamental values which are required for the constitution, which are required for the nation. So that what are the fundamental values? Political, moral, religious, on which the constitution is based. So while going through all this constitution, the parts of the constitution, so we come to know what is the basic philosophy adopted, what are the fundamental values we have adopted. So and yes friends, so it's the soul of the constitution, it's key to the minds of the constitution makers, and it embodies the basic philosophy and the fundamental values on which the constitution is based. From the preamble, it is very clear that the constitution derives authority from the people of India. That's what we have said. We, the people of India. So we got authority from the people of India. The constitution came from people of India. In the last sentence of the preamble, it's clearly say that we do hereby adopt, enact, and give ourselves. This is very important. The people of India have started, and they said that we give ourselves this constitution. So that is what the people of India are sovereign, and they are the supreme. And it declares India to be a sovereign, secular, and democratic and republican. So what is the meaning of sovereign? Means India is free of any external force. Like India is free and it's not dependent or not part of any other country. What is the meaning of not part of any other country? Earlier it is used to be the part of England. So British have ruled and we said that we are the part of England. So that is the reason. Now we are not part of anything. We are sovereign. We are free. We are independent. That is the meaning of sovereign. What is the meaning of secular? All the religions in the country have the same status, not equal. It's the same status. They enjoy the same status. Like the state doesn't discriminate any religion, and the state doesn't represent any religion also. That is the meaning of secular. And what is the meaning of democratic? Representatives elected by the people will rule the country. So democratic means we know that what is the meaning of by the law, by the people, for the people. Like so, people will elect the representatives, and the representatives elected by the people will only rule the country. Yeah, what is the meaning of republican then? Republican means India will have a president. Like India will have a head of the state. In republican countries, like there will be head of the state, head of the country. So that he will be either elected by the direct elections or indirect elections. So if there is a head of the country other than monarchy means there will be king, then it is not called republican. So if there is a head elected by the people of India, directly or indirectly, then it is called republican. That is the meaning of republican. So India has declared that India is going to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republican country. And also it specifies the justice, liberty. So it specifies that we are going to attain justice, liberty, equality and fraternity as the objectives. What is the meaning of justice? What kind of justice? Social justice. So what is the meaning of social justice? Like we treat all citizens equally without any social distinction based on the caste, color, race, sex and so on. So we don't say that this is the upper caste, this is the lower caste, we don't discriminate the people based on the caste. We give equal opportunity to everyone. We treat we give equal treatment to all the citizens. So we don't discriminate anyone based on the caste, color, race, sex and so on. This is what justice thought by the constitution makers. And justice, the three forms: one is social and second one is economic justice. No discrimination between the people on the basis of the economic factors. So the constitution doesn't say that someone is rich, so we have to favor him. Constitution doesn't say that he is a very poor fellow, so we should not favor him. It doesn't see this in such a way that no discrimination between the people on the basis of the economic factors. And political justice, this means all the citizens should have equal political rights, equal access to political office and equal voice in the government. So that is the reason we have only single citizenship in the we have only one franchise for the country. Like all the people are provided with the franchise, the rights to vote. Franchise means, yeah. Then liberty. So what is the meaning of liberty? People are provided with the liberty. What does it mean? That there is no one to restrain the activities of the people, and we are provided with equal opportunities for the development. So we can development we are provided with equal opportunities and for the development. Yeah, and preamble secures how this liberty is going to be attained. That preamble has given us the fundamental rights and the liberty of thought, fundamental rights in which it is clearly enclosed. We have the liberty of thought, expression, expression, right to expression, and belief, faith, and worship were like. Given by the fundamental rights. So that is how liberty was secured. Equality. All the citizens of the India treated equally without any special privileges to any sections of the society. As per the constitution, there was no privileges to anyone in the country, and all the people are equal. So this was clearly enshrined in the fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy. So once you come across these fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy, you will clearly understand. What is the meaning of the fraternity? Like it means sense of brotherhood. That we feel like every fellow citizen is a brother to us. Like we are integrated and we are united as a union of states. We are Indians first, then the rest of the things comes next. So that is how the meaning of fraternity. So preamble secures fraternity among all its citizens of India through their fundamental duties and system of single citizenship. So that is the reason we have gone for only single citizenship. There are no dual citizenships. There is no discrimination between the people. All are Indians only. Yeah, this is what preamble has. So this is what we can interpret from the preamble. Yeah, that India are going to construct a sovereign, socialist, democratic, secular, democratic, republican, and it is specified the justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity among the people. So, what are the meaning of those things? And preamble is, and one more important thing is why this preamble. What are the whenever there is ambiguity in any act of the parliament, like act of the constitution, any article of the constitution, then preamble is referred as the interpreter. Like we refer to the preamble to interpret the constitution, then we come to the conclusion on this particular article. So what is that? Yeah, the better example for that is there was a famous case. These are the two famous cases. Those we need to remember. One is Beru Bhari Union, and one is Kesavananda Bharati case. These are very famous, friends. We need to remember these two cases so that you will have an idea that will refer to the preamble whenever there is an ambiguity. So in Beru Bhari Union case, what Supreme Court has said is that the preamble is not part of the constitution, and that happened in 1960. But in Kesavananda Bharati case in 1973, but again the Supreme Court has declared that the preamble is a part of the constitution. So there was a ambiguity whether the preamble is a part of the constitution or not, because we have discussed that in the Constitutional Assembly the preamble and the constitution were not adopted on the same moment, at the same time. First constitution was adopted, then immediately soon after that the preamble was adopted. So this happened in two different events. This considered as two different events, and the people considered that the preamble is not the part of the constitution. And the same thing was given by the Supreme Court in the Beru Bhari Union case in 1960. But the same Supreme Court has reversed its opinion, and in the Kesavananda Bharati case in 1973, it declared that preamble is a part of the constitution. And also in this Kesavananda Bharati case, the Supreme Court held that preamble can be amended. Preamble can be amended. So people had a doubt that whether it can be amended or not. So in Beru Bhari Union case, when preamble is not part of the constitution, how are you going to amend the constitution? How are you going to amend the preamble? So if it is not the part, we can't amend it. But as it reversed, so it clearly means that preamble can be amended now. But the basic elements or the fundamental features of the constitution of the preamble, features of the preamble cannot be altered. What are the basic features of the preamble are there? You cannot alter those features. That the amendments should be in such a way that it should not disturb the basic features of the constitution, basic features of the preamble. So that is the condition put by the Supreme Court, and because of that preamble was never amended. Only once, it is in 1976 that we have said that 46 Constitutional Amendment Act, we have added 3 words, that is socialist, secular and integrity. This is the first and last time to amend the preamble. So preamble was amended only once. This is again important. What are the cases related to the preamble? That is Beru Bhari Union and Kesavananda Bharati case. Some question, there will be some question like, can you amend the preamble of the constitution? Yes, we can amend the preamble of the constitution, but provided it should not disturb the basic elements and fundamental features of the constitution. So this is what preamble says. Preamble, friends, this is what preamble says. Like preamble gives insights into the insights into the constitution, and it's act as a interpreter to the constitution, and it gives what is the country we are going to construct, what are the aspirations of the people, how we are going to attain justice, how we are going to attain liberty, and how we are going to attain equality and fraternity. So this is what, friends. So there could be questions on what is India is going to be, which India is what type of country, whether it is sovereign, secular, and the preamble is given by whom? That the preamble is given by the people. I mean, the preamble was adapted like on 26th November 1949. Don't confuse it as 26th January 1950. And like, what are the cases related to the preamble? What are the aspirations of the preamble? When it was, how many times the constitution preamble was amended, and by which amendment act the preamble was amended. So this could be the questions we can expect in the exam. So the types of questions we'll see in the next class. Please go through the next class, next video of this polity, that you'll be getting a message over the video, like what is the number of the next video. So keep watching the V focused videos for the better marks in the SSC CGL exam, and thank you very much. Have a nice day.